Hi guys, I just wanted to do a 5-part series on how to take each power's first round move, kind of like discuss the strategies and what to buy, attack, like what not to do, and I think it'd be really beneficial to a lot of people who play this game. Um, so for Russia, what I like to do for my first opening move is I like getting 4 infantry and 3 artillery. Um, it's a perfect amount. It drains it right down to 0, and you're able to put 2 infantry and 2 artillery on the Caucasus, and then you can put the rest on Russia. What I've also seen a lot of people do that I don't think works as well is just buy all infantry. So if you just buy 8 infantry, you're not going to really have a lot of attacking power. That's kind of one thing you want to do when you're Russia, is make sure you have your attacking power. You really don't want to lose it like early on, so that's why when we go to the attacking part of this, you really don't want to like commit a lot of your forces, and you want to keep everything kind of centered together, compacted. That way, when Germany tries to attack, it's kind of scary, and they might think twice about attacking you. So we're gonna go with the 4 infantry and then 3 artillery build. So for the first round combat move, I never touch anything over here for combat, just because you have 2 infantry rolling 2 1s against 3 3s and then 1 4. So you never just want to touch that. And over in the Karelia SSR, you never want to like go for Finland or Baltic states or something, because once you attack kind of over here, you're losing 4 infantry, 1 artillery guaranteed, just because Germany has so many troops all along its borders that if you do take the Baltic states, he's got 3 infantry in Berlin, 2 tanks, he's got troops in Belarusia and Poland. Like, Germany has troops everywhere, so you kind of want to stay on the outskirts if you can. So one of my opening moves that I do is I send all of my troops, so the 4 infantry uh, that I have in Leningrad, and I send it into West Russia along with the artillery. I'll send the 1 infantry from Archangel and the tank, and then I'll send 4 infantry and then 1 artillery from Russia. And then the rest of my troops, so in the Caucasus down here, I'll send 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, 2 tanks from Russia, a fighter, and my other fighter. And the reason I do this is because in West Russia, this is a key territory that you want to have as Russia, just because it's connected to so much. It's connected to Ukraine, the Caucasus, Belarusia, and Leningrad, and it's just a really important like territory that you want to have, because you can retreat back to Russia if you want. You can retreat back to the Caucasus. You can attack from multiple places. So that's why you always want to control that. And what I often do is I leave Leningrad open, just because there are so many troops that Germany has at the start, like kind of like up north. They have the 3 from Belarusia. They have the 1 infantry, 1 tank from the Baltic states, 3 infantry coming in from Finland, along with 2 more from Norway on the next turn. Then you also have that transport down here that can ship 2 infantry and then send 2 tanks in. So you're going to have a big force up in Leningrad, which actually works well with this strategy that I'm going for, where you attack kind of below. Because if he sends everything up here, then you can keep all of your troops stationed in Caucasus, and his like forces won't be able to do much. If he does end up coming over to Archangel, you can always retreat your force back to Russia. So that's no problem there, and you always have your allies to send in like the fighters to help defend Russia, so you should be fine. So we'll go ahead and do the battle. I always like to go through the West Russia one first. Like, make sure you go through all the way, never retreat, even if you end up losing it. It's not often that you lose a lot of troops here. Not really rolling too well right now. Yeah, we're rolling really bad right now. There we go. But they got a lot of hits on that, which is kind of unfortunate. But it happens. And now Ukraine. So what I always do with the Ukraine battle is I normally attack just one time, just to kind of soften the defenses up. Just like right there, we rolled pretty well. And we did not take as many casualties. So we will retreat. And the main reason we want to retreat is because Ukraine is connected to 3 different territories: Poland, Belarusia, and Romania. And those territories have 2 infantry, so 2 plus 2 plus another 3, so 3, 5. That's a lot of infantry, along with like the tanks. That's all because tanks can blitz through, so they can go 1, 2. You have a tank of Baltic State, 1, 2. You have your tank right here, which is connected, so it doesn't really count. But then you have your fighters. So you have a lot of power going into the Ukraine. And again, as Russia, you really don't want to be wasting a lot of your attacking power, which are your tanks and artillery. So that's why you kind of want to have them back. You kind of want to just have it like a little poke game as Russia, and that seems to work out for me. So we'll go ahead and retreat back to the Caucasus. And since we have a lot of force there, we're safe to land our planes there. I think one game I lost a lot in the Ukraine battle, and I retreated with my fighters. And what Germany did, which was smart, is he moved his transport in with his battleship and amphibious assault, and he ended up killing like a big force right down here. So I think I lost that game just because I didn't have my fighters. That's 20 IPC that Russia has, and as you can see, Russia only makes 26, and that's along with taking the 2 right here. So normally Russia only makes 24. So that's all of Russia's credits. Now, as for non-combat moves, what I like to do is I like to take the Russian anti-aircraft artillery and move it to West Russia, just in case he does end up moving his 3 infantry from Belarusia to West Russia, along with a tank from the Baltic states that can blitz, from Poland that can blitz. Ukraine's obviously touching it, and then the tank right here. But not only that, you also have the fighter, the bomber in the area. You have a fighter down here in Romania, another fighter on Poland. So it's just something to kind of give the German player to worry about. And as far as leaving this open, like arc angle, you don't need an infantry here necessarily, just because the German player doesn't want to overextend, because you will have troops back in Russia, so he doesn't want to lose that tank. It's a lot better when he has all of his stuff together, kind of like Russia. Another thing I like to do is down in the SSR, I'll move 1 infantry depending on how the battle went up here. Like normally I would probably move it either to Caucasus or Russia, but let's just say that this was a lot better. Like normally you'll have like 5 or 6 infantry in West Russia, but we lost a lot there. We just had unlucky rolls. But normally what we'll do is we'll move it down to Szechuan, just because a key factor in the game is the starting fighter right here. This fighter is just super important because as Japan, if you do end up trying to attack this, you're going to have to go through 3 infantry, so 3 2s plus a 4, and you can only have an infantry paired with an artillery, a fighter, so you can have 2 2s, 2 3s, and then a bomber. So Japan's going to be wasting a lot of resources towards China and just trying to kill that fighter when they should be focusing on Japan or trying to take Russia's IPCs. And then that leads me to Russia. So what I like to do, just to kind of annoy the Japan player, is just make a stack of 7 infantry over here, because when you have 7 infantry, when you roll, if like let's say he moves his 3 infantry up here, you could probably attack that and end up winning. More than usual, Japan will just send 1 just to kind of steal the IPC, and then send the rest to attack Anhui. I think that's how you pronounce that. Lastly, I think the sub, I just move it over here to kind of help defend against the British fleet. The German fleet will send its subs over, and normally that sub doesn't hit. It kind of just uses a body shield for the British fleet, just hoping that the German player gets bad rolls. And then the infantry right here, I'll send also to China just to kind of reinforce this to make this look a little more scary than it actually is. Kind of held America's IPCs, and then based off of what he does in Japan. So if he does end up taking a lot of stuff here, or if Germany's pressing on really fast, then I'll just kind of retreat those guys back. And I think that's about it for Russia. Like, as you can see, we have the 7 right here. We don't really care if he takes this over, because you'll just be able to retake that really quickly, and it's only 1 IPC, so it's not hurting a lot. But we'll go ahead and put 2 infantry down here, 2 artillery, and then again we'll just put the 2 infantry and 1 artillery back in Russia. And that'll just kind of reinforce whatever happens next round. So if he ends up taking a territory, we'll be able to use this attacking force to attack, retreat, and then reinforce with this again. So what you want to be doing is buying 2 infantry, 2 artillery down here for Kakakis, depending on what he does. If he has a huge force down here, you might want to try and retreat to Russia, or if you have the upper hand, you might want to do a tactical attack just to kind of weaken his force, especially if you feel like you have the upper hand. As you can see, he's playing right now. So, but a big thing is the Ukraine attack. You don't want to go full force with the Ukraine because you do have 3 tanks going in, which is a lot of IPC. That's 18 IPCs that you'll lose as Russia. And again, you only make 24 per turn. I have 26 just because I took West Russia, but you start off with 24. So it's just a big amount of IPC that you will end up losing, especially to the German player if they're smart. And that is my round 1 moves and strategy for Russia. I'll see you guys in the next episode for Germany.